saw on TV you guys battling. I saw it on one of the TVs as I was driving by.
You could have slowed down.
You guys are too quick on the straights.
Just give it a chance,
you're too...
The epic duel between Verstappen and Leclerc throughout the first half of 2022 was a lesson from the master.
Again, Max Verstappen, and he's gone a quarter of a car length in front. Now
it pitted the reigning world champion against the budding hope of a team as storied as Ferrari after years of disappointments. The flashes of greatness we saw would come from both drivers and began right from the first race.
Oh, this has been a bit of a problem for these two in the past. No problem this time.
The 2022 season was a game changer for Formula One. After years of cars being criticized as too large, too complicated and too darn heavy, with drivers unable to engage in close battles, the new season arrived promising to revolutionize the races and to shake things up. Starting from 2022, the cars would be simpler, smaller and with ground effect making a comeback. All these regulatory changes had a common goal: to make the races more thrilling and bring the competition closer together. After an epic showdown between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in 2021, where they fought for the championship until the final lap of the last race, the expectations for the new season, and especially for the new era of Formula One, were sky high. Fans were itching more than ever to see more of those heart-pounding battles and epic rivalries. Luckily for everyone, the start of 2022 seemed to seamlessly continue the momentum from 2021, with two drivers emerging as the focal points of the new Formula One season, destined to write history with their rivalry: Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. Ferrari and Red Bull seem to have already found the right formula of the new regulations during pre-season, a fact that was confirmed in the opening round in Bahrain.
Two in the past, no problem this time for Charles Leclerc.
After an epic qualifying session, Leclerc claimed the pole position over Verstappen by just over a tenth of a second, with Carlos Sainz almost matching the time of the Dutchman and Perez in fourth place, so a close fight between the two teams was expected on Sunday. During the race, Leclerc and Verstappen crossed paths on lap 17, marking what would be the first of several wheel-to-wheel duels throughout the season. For several heart-pounding laps, Verstappen threw everything he had into seizing the lead, relentlessly lunging into the first corner and managing to overtake Leclerc on a couple of occasions. Yet, the Monegasque driver resiliently reclaimed his position just a few corners later, shutting the door on the Dutchman's advances and ultimately strengthening his lead, clinching an epic victory. Sadly, Red Bull's hopes were dashed as both Verstappen and Perez were forced to retire due to engine issues, paving the way for Ferrari to achieve a dream 1-2 finish, setting the stage for a truly enchanting start to the season. The saga that ignited in Bahrain blazed on at the Jeddah Street Circuit with yet another thrilling qualifying session. Sergio Perez stole the spotlight by clinching pole position, closely followed by the Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz, and Verstappen trailing in fourth, with all four drivers separated by mere tenths of a second. As the race unfolded, an early safety car period shuffled the pack, propelling Leclerc and Verstappen to the lead. Their thrilling duel resumed on lap 42, where they began a fierce DRS battle. Verstappen overtook Leclerc at the final corner, only for the Monegasque to reclaim the position on the main straight. Just one lap later, neither driver was willing to risk leading into turn 27, vulnerable to DRS attacks down the main straight, both braking before the detection line. On lap 47, Verstappen seized this advantage to regain the lead before turn 1. From there, they engaged in a fierce battle all the way to the checkered flag, with Verstappen ultimately clinching victory by just half a second over Leclerc. Unlike the Verstappen-Hamilton showdown in Jeddah in 2021, this was a truly epic and remarkable clean fight, devoid of any contact, testament to the exceptional skill and sportsmanship of both drivers. However, the cunning tactics used by Verstappen and Leclerc of braking suddenly and accelerating to gain an advantage from the DRS were banned starting from the next Grand Prix. It was a clear indicator of the extent to which both drivers pushed the boundaries of their rivalry. In the following race in Australia, Leclerc once again dominated by clinching pole position and the race victory. Despite Verstappen's relentless pursuit, the Monegasque driver successfully defended against his attacks before fate intervened with another retirement due to reliability issues. With 71 points to his name, Leclerc solidified his lead in the championship, well ahead of Verstappen's 25. Nevertheless, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix marked the beginning of Verstappen's resurgence as he started narrowing the gap to the Ferrari driver. In a rain-soaked qualifying session, Verstappen clinched pole position, edging out Leclerc. During Saturday's sprint race, Leclerc took the lead at the start, with Verstappen relentlessly chasing him throughout the race, closing in as the final laps approached. On the penultimate lap, Verstappen activated the DRS and the main straight, closing the gap to Leclerc. He then executed a daring maneuver around the outside of the Variante Tamburello chicane, a move that had fans on the edge of their seats and ultimately secured victory in dramatic fashion. In Sunday's race, held under challenging conditions, Verstappen once again secured the win, while Leclerc endured a tough race, even making contact with the barriers and settling for a 6th place finish. As a result, Leclerc ended the weekend with 86 points compared to Verstappen's 59, setting the stage for a championship battle that was growing tighter and more thrilling with each passing race. In the following round in Miami, Ferrari secured a 1-2 in qualifying with Leclerc and Sainz, with Verstappen trailing in 3rd. But on race day, Verstappen's determination knew no bounds. He surged past Sainz at the start, setting his sights on the lead. Then, on lap 9, in a heart-stopping moment, Verstappen made a daring move down the inside of the first corner, leaving Leclerc grappling with his medium compound tires in his wake. From there, it was a relentless march to victory, with Leclerc unable to mount a challenge. Leclerc and Verstappen were getting closer in the championship standings, and one of the major turning points occurred at the Spanish Grand Prix. There, Leclerc, after securing another pole position and leading the entire race, was struck by misfortune and had to retire due to an engine issue. This allowed Verstappen to seize victory and take the championship lead for the first time. With just 6 points separating them, the stakes had never felt higher. However, the next 3 races proved to be an utter nightmare for Leclerc. In Monaco, after clinching pole position, a heartbreaking strategic error by Ferrari in rainy conditions cost him the lead during the race, forcing him to settle for 4th place while Verstappen soared to 3rd. Then, in Azerbaijan, the Monegasque driver once again secured pole position, only to endure further heartbreak. After dropping to 2nd place at the start, his hopes were dashed as he was eventually forced to retire due to a power unit issue, watching helplessly as Verstappen clinched yet another victory. Having to switch to a new power unit, Leclerc faced a grid penalty in Canada, plunging him to start from 19th place. Despite this setback, he mounted a remarkable comeback, paving his way to a remarkable 5th position during the race. Yet, his efforts were overshadowed by Verstappen's relentless dominance, securing yet another victory. As Verstappen led the championship with 175 points, Leclerc found himself overtaken by Perez, now sitting in 3rd with 126 points. With each passing moment, championship aspirations seemed to dwindle, casting a shadow of doubt over Leclerc's title hopes. However, following a chaotic British Grand Prix where both Leclerc and Verstappen missed out on the podium, their rivalry reached a climactic crescendo in the Austrian Grand Prix, marking one of the zeniths of the entire championship. Despite a weekend dominated by Verstappen, who clinched pole position and won in the sprint race ahead of Leclerc, things took a turn on Sunday. Both drivers maintained their positions at the front of the grid, and on lap 12, in a daring move on the inside of turn 4, Leclerc overtook Verstappen to take the lead. The Red Bull driver pitted 1 lap later, while Leclerc extended his first stint until lap 27, rejoining the track behind the Dutchman. The Monegasque driver, with fresher tyres, passed Verstappen again on lap 33. The Red Bull driver pitted again on lap 37, while Leclerc did not do so until lap 49, dropping back to 2nd position. They crossed paths again on lap 53, with Leclerc regaining the lead of the the race. Despite struggling with issues with his car, he kept Verstappen at bay to secure the victory. It was his first win without starting from pole position, and although it added excitement to the championship, marking another great battle with Verstappen, it would ultimately stand as the Monegasque's final victory of the season. A series of errors, both from Leclerc himself and from Ferrari, coupled with Verstappen and Red Bull's increasing strength and consistency, led to a loss of momentum for Leclerc and Ferrari. Meanwhile, Verstappen would go on to dominate the second half of the season, securing 9 victories out of 11 races. Consequently, while Verstappen and Leclerc continued to engage in some thrilling battles throughout the season, the intense championship battle that defined the first half of the season came to an end. However, the showdown between Verstappen and Leclerc was a lesson from the master. The two drivers engaged in a series of epic battles for victory, displaying exceptional skill and sportsmanship as they pushed their cars to the limit without ever making contact. Their rivalry reached a level of intensity that few can match, yet they managed to uphold the spirit of fair competition in every closely fought duel. Their enthralling contests reassured fans that the future of Formula One was secure in the hands of two drivers of such remarkable caliber. Winning in Formula One is not easy at all, and it takes a lot of time to succeed in a sport where even the slightest detail makes the difference between victory and defeat. Even legendary teams like Ferrari or exceptional drivers like Leclerc face formidable obstacles when competing in the face of intense competition, particularly against formidable adversaries such as Max Verstappen and Red Bull. And when it comes to Max Verstappen, click here to discover the Formula One's ongoing problem with him. You won't want to miss it.